Osho technique.
Yeah.
I like laughing gas too. Shit. I had it only 3 years of my life. I had laughing gas every 3 months at least. But it is nothing. Dentists in the 50s, you got laughing gas when they took some. It was always an out-of-body experience. Fantastic. That's why I understand Osho so well. Because he was permanent on laughing gas. He had this thing, and then the laughing gas bottle was behind him, and then talking about the French Revolution and the Russian Revolution. And then
Yeah,
this is
it was so funny.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah,
Some interview, Australian interview with some, it was really funny.
He probably even ripped one of his lines.
But it's easy with laughing gas.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't even make it up.
I think I am laughing gas.
He's just a performer.
Like you?
Yeah, like me.
Performing.
Perform. Seal.
It's perform.
A chance.
For the form. Performer.
Proformer.
Good. Principle. In principle. What happens in principle? Nothing ever happens. But what is this nothing whatever happens? Never happened.
It's like trying to be who I'm not.
Not trying to be you?
Who am I not? That's a quality.
No, to find what you are not. Yeah, try hard. But it's futile as trying to find what you are. I like this, that everything is futile, nothing comes out of nothing. Emptiness not creating anything else as emptiness.
Do you know how sad that can be when you really realize it?
Yeah, no one can take it. Wonderful, I like that. That sadness of God. The sadness of this ocean of pain, of sadness. No one can take. That this ocean of pain and sadness will never go. As I said, never came. Because this is a discomfort place. And this loneliness, that there is no second, will never be healed. You will never be healed by that. That feeling of being alone can never be healed by anyone. By any whatever. It's a temporary healing possible, but not a permanent. You always feel back in that sadness. It's a basic ground. The only thing when there is a total no way out of sadness, that you even see, you will never accept that sadness. There will never be enough acceptance for that sadness. You will always fail to get to whatever, deal with that sadness. You may succeed at being sadness. And out of that sadness becomes your joy itself. Because it is already joy. It doesn't have to become. It is joy in action.
Will the joy come out of sadness?
There is no joy coming out. Sadness is joy. Because there is only joy. And if you cannot be the joy as you are in sadness, you will not become it in joy. So joy is a piece of cake. To be what you are in joy and happiness, in this blissful, is a piece of cake for everyone. In bhajan and singing and joy, blah blah. But being alone and fucking, that's the goal of the Himalaya. Being totally alone and fucking sad and totally hurt by yourself and all totally despair and thing. And no way out anymore. This total despair. This total no way out. That's what you are, just disconnecting from whatever it can be connected to. Because that is breaking your heart. And only when your heart is broken, that's imaginary art, this artificial heart, then art is, then heart is. But everything is artificial, you try. It's all artificial. So your heart has to be broken, this self-love for yourself, this little me love. Being so fucking in love with every little moment of your life. There's no way out, it kills you. Because there was never anything what could heal you. And in that moment there is just no question about anything anymore, because that what you are was never sick. You never needed to be healed. That's the joke in it. So you, only yourself can give you the rest.
So there is hope.
Maybe there is, maybe not, just in case. But only you can be what you are, no one else can be it for you. And you have to be what you are in any circumstance, not in any special one. So all is this joy and in whatever special happiness and my life is like this and saying always like you try to avoid that sadness which is permanently there as part of life. The sadness is as much there as joy. They come in a double pack. The joy is realizing itself in happiness and unhappiness. So the unhappiness or the sadness is permanent as the joy. So there are two sides, like light and darkness. There's good and bad. All this polarity is there. But you have a preference, that's your problem. You prefer to be in the joy, in the light, and sing. And that makes you a me. The me is only there because there's a preference of happiness. And that makes you unhappy. Because only when there's a preference of happiness, there's the other side of the metal, which is unhappiness. Then you try day by day staying on that bright side. Always look at the bright side of life. That's the life of Brian. Jesus on the cross. But you will never succeed. There will always be, you will be weak, and then you fall into that sadness again, and again, and again. So why not just staying there? Because it's so easy to be sad. You don't have to do anything for sadness. For happiness, you always have to make an effort. Sadness is just without any effort. It's your best friend, actually. It never leaves you alone. It doesn't want anything from you. It's just present. Because the presence of awareness is always sadness. This sadness is so natural and so profound and unshakable. And you trying to get out of it is you try to strangle yourself. Because you are the sadness. Fantastic.
Then what is Ramana's story?
Well, look at him, totally sad. That's why they call him a sad guru.
Sad guru.
Why do they call him a happy guru? Yeah, and that is actually that is like the eye of a needle where Jesus speaks. You can only go into the kingdom of heart to that where no one can go through. A happy one will never be in heaven. Paradise is not for happy people. Sad people, not even sad people. But happy people for sure not. Sad people are maybe, there's still some hope. But happy people, they'll never make it. Because they don't want to get out of the dream, they don't want to, whatever. You really have to be 10 meters underwater, and your only, whatever, tendency is being what you are. It's like, you can only breathe as what you are, and not by blissful, happy satsang, blah blah blah, bhajans, and waves are coming in, blah, clouds are not real, the sky is real, there are no clouds because only the sky is real. All this like hypnotic, this self-hypnotic, like lullabies. You always put lullabies in your brain. Little lullaby to put you into sleep. It's not so bad today. Could be worse. I could sit in a wheelchair. I can still run, but I have no arms, but I still run. I could be a shy shop master. Worse. No, I like sad gurus. If you, the saint of Kanchi, he looks so crumpy and so fuck you all. This for me is original. That's authentic. These happy gurus, they're just businessmen.
Osho.
Osho was not happy. He needed laughing gas just to lift his It was no happy Osho. All that Captagon and Valium he took in his whole life, he could make this room full. If there would be Prozac in that time, there would be full Prozac. And would have lips like Angelina Jolie. There's this Sadhguru, this guy who is very famous now on television. He calls himself Sadhguru, but he's the best businessman I ever met. Oh, what a businessman. I would say 95% what he says is not so bad, but then comes something. Wow. Mamma mia.
The guy from Ishan.
He sometimes comes here.
Yeah. He has the garden opposite. Yeah.
He's funny, he walks up the mountain.
He likes motorbikes.
Yeah, and he dresses like a Westerner. But you see him, he's such a typical Sadhguru. This beard and the long hair and the shining eyes.
And the big limo.
The big limo.
Lingam.
Big lingam? What?
He built this big lingam.
You can get Heartmaster contact lenses now.
What's the worst one is Nityananda with 108 lingams. Show off. So what to do? Why do they call the Black Madonna? The realized Maria. The biggest, even bigger in South America and in Spanish countries than Jesus. What made her the Black Madonna? What would you say? When did she realize? What was her saddest moment? The biggest despair?
When he was dying on the cross?
Yeah, when she saw her son, her beloved, dying on the cross. And then that broke her heart. And then she realized, because it was unbearable to see that, in that total being unbearable moment of seeing that, it broke her heart and the connection between her and this whatever is there. By that, she became the Black Madonna who didn't know herself anymore. What she is and what she is not. By not knowing herself. So she became that what never was a child of anyone. And never gave any birth to anyone. That was the only way out of that unbearable moment. That's a fantastic story in that sense. But now the mothers who have junkies as son or daughter or something, seeing them dying, it's all the same. Consciousness puts itself in a place, in a circumstance which is unbearable. And then maybe you disconnect from all that ideas. And you just disconnect from whatever you know because it's unbearable. And just by being what you are, there was never any pain at all. There is no sadness, there is no happiness, there is nothing there is a silence which is in its nature joy. The joy which never can be experienced, never needs any joy. That absolute independent existence. Without any fear at all, because that existence doesn't even has to exist to exist. That being which never has to be. That what is absolute in spite of whatever is and is not. That is called the Black Madonna, the Black Sun. And from there you have to realize you anyway, but to be that is effortlessness that's what you are, your very nature. That is talking your natural state, which has no state, which is what it is. In spite of whatever you can imagine, you are. Never because of anything. That is his pointer. But no one wants to get rid of here when he is quite nice and happy. He needs some pressure. So that it's called depression. The vacuum of sense. When the senselessness is embracing you. The helplessness of your nature. Senselessness. Hopelessness, all of that embracing itself. And you will be embraced by grace, which is senselessness and hopelessness. And that grace is eating you up. And only that can eat you as nothing. And without that involvement of that what is grace, which is in a sense the selflessness of self, that hopelessness of being what you are, there's no way out. This Holocaust burns down whatever can be burned down. It will burn down your house, your concept of existence. And you will be the absolute leftover of what you are anyway, which is without and with, whatever you can imagine what it is. So. And grace is your nature, and only grace can. That grace shows no mercy for any shit factory, and how the shit factory feels, and how much gratitude is there or not, for anything. Even love will be enough, and hate together, because when there's no love, there's no hate anymore. That's the best you cannot have. So forget yourself, and then there's not even no self. Neither. That's what is neti. There is neither self or no self. That undecided, being that, what is Buddha middle path, which is never what you imagine. Imagine all the people. But there's one good song by John Lennon, like, there is no God. Yeah, a late song from John Lennon. Never heard that? Only this, my sweet Lord, huh? But then a bit later, there is no God, there is no self, there is no mind, there is no Maria, there is no whatever, there is no Zen, there is no chanting, there is no Guru, there is no this. Very good song.
That's why they shot him.
Maybe, that's why they shot him. And the end is, there is only me. So, John was, then he could die. But he is known by my sweet Lord, and everyone is,
That's George Harrison.
doesn't matter. Or this peanuts called down.
I did not tell anything this time. Notice.
But you are close.